Hello, this is Dr. Susan Lewis. I am the Student Success Coordinator here on the Terry campus. I am a resource person on this campus to promote student success. In addition, I manage and facilitate the ATI account. The purpose of this video is to provide you with a brief orientation to the basics of working within the ATI learning system. First, let's talk a minute about what ATI is. ATI is a learning support system that is designed to support your learning throughout the program. There are some portions of the program that will be required as part of your learning, and there are many resources available to support and help you along your way. There are lessons and practice assessments as well as proctored assessments that you will take as part of your course requirements. Preparation and support of what you are currently learning in school is one of the many benefits of ATI. In addition, ATI provides preparation for success on the NCLEX-RN state board exams. ATI aligns its content with the NCLEX-RN test blueprint put out by the National Council for State Boards of Nursing, which writes and administers the state board exam for nurses. They will support you with your learning directly through the time that you sit for your NCLEX exam and beyond. If you are not successful on the NCLEX exam and you have completed the virtual ATI program, they will work with you as you prepare to take the NCLEX again. As the NCLEX has changed its testing format to a next generation format, ATI provides you with experience in next generation type questions. Simply said, ATI supports the knowledge needed to practice as a safe entry-level nurse. Students will ask if they need ATI, and the short answer is yes. ATI is both a required and recommended addition to your course content. I recommend that you take this resource and drive it until the wheels fall off, as if it were a car that you just bought. You're going to drive it until you can't drive it anymore. You are billed for ATI every semester, and what you're paying for is access to learning resources throughout nursing school and beyond. With your ATI fees, you are provided a 3-day live review for the NCLEX exam at the end of your last semester. In addition, you are provided with virtual ATI support testing, review, and counseling after graduation so that you can prepare to take your NCLEX board exams. If you are an ADN student registered to take NUR 170, you will be billed $992.25 each semester for 4 semesters, and it is a fee associated with the courses that end in 0, so NUR 170, 180, 200, and 210. If you are enrolled in NUR 190, you will be billed $1310 for this course and then $992.25 for the next 2 semesters. Federal financial aid and Pell money should cover ATI fees, but seed monies do not. So let's dig into the product. First, I want you to follow along with me as I review these steps. Please sign into your ATI account using Google Chrome or Firefox. For Mac computers, Safari is the recommended browser. If you have multiple accounts with ATI, use the account associated with your DTCC email. If you need a minute to catch up with me, please pause as you work through the steps. Please be patient with me as I change to a student view. First thing I want you to do is to sign into your ATI account. Your home page should look like this. I want you to go to your profile as I am doing. So up at the top, go to Profile. Please verify that your information is correct, so that the correct email address, that your name, your username is correct. Click on Institution and verify that the institution says DE Tech Terry Campus ADN. You may have received an email from me already to ensure that you have the correct institution. If you need to change your campus, click on Edit, then click on the institution box for a drop-down of choices. If you have made a change, please click on Save. Let's return to the home page. On it, you will see that there is a calendar showing any scheduled assignments you may have. You will also see any recent activity you've done. So it looks at the recent activity over the last 30 days. I want to point out also that faculty can go in and see what activities you have done and how much time is spent within each activity module. Scrolling down, there is a box showing quick links. You can see that there are links to 3 different areas that I will explain as we work through the ATI products. Feel free to pause the video and follow the quick links to see where they take you. Let's click on the tab called My ATI. As you can see, your landing page under My ATI should look similar to mine. Please be aware that my screen may show products that you will not have, as I have access to content that is not yet available to students. First, I want to point out that ATI has an orientation module that you may visit and view if you would like more information after viewing this video. Second, I will not be reviewing all of the ATI learning modules located under your profile. I urge you to spend some time reviewing some of the modules that I will not have time to cover in this presentation. First, let's work from the page down. Right now, you are looking at study materials. There is also access to the calendar from the home page and the active learning templates. So I'm going to click on active learning templates. You will have many opportunities to use these active learning templates as a study and learning tool during your nursing school journey. Let me show you how these work. As you see, you have templates covering basic concepts, diagnostic procedures, medications, growth and development. Let me download. Nursing skills, system disorders, therapeutic procedures, and concept analysis. I chose the medication template, and when it opens up, it's going to open up looking like this. I then clicked download, and what download will do will provide you with a fillable PDF that you can fill out electronically. I'm trying to drag it over. There it goes. So if your instructor is asking you to turn something in, you can fill this out electronically unless they designate that you are supposed to fill it out by hand. But as you can see, if I wanted to put a medication template together for aspirin, I would put in aspirin. Category class, I might say antiplatelet, analgesic, anti-inflammatory, antipyretic. So you would want to put whatever category or class. You can click and fill out expected pharmacologic action. Why do we use aspirin? Any complications associated with aspirin use? And you can scroll down to all the different things. This is a tool that I have found invaluable, and I know that your NUR 170 instructors have these templates posted in the course. I recommend that you download them whenever you get a new disease process or a new medication, and start a notebook so that you have a listing and a place to put all of this information. Let's go back to study materials. Below, you will find a Learn tab, Assessments, NCLEX Prep, and Flashcards Hub. We're going to look under the Learn tab because there's so much information under there. The first thing I want to show you is Achieve. Achieve contains excellent tools for students beginning their nursing school journey, as well as valuable topics to revisit as needed. If you click on Modules, it will bring up 5 different areas that you can look at. If you are a student for whom English is a second language, there is a lesson on that. Classroom skills, preparing for clinical experiences, study skills, and test-taking skills. You will note that each module has a content area and an area to test your knowledge. Next, let's look at the dosage calculation modules. You will be completing these as you move through your NUR 150 dosage calculation course. You should look at the schedule for NUR 150 to be able to see the schedule of modules you will need to complete for this course. So for fun, let's look at the lesson on medication administration. You click on the lesson. Okay, and as you see on the left here, you're going to have all of your different lessons. Okay, you will have a summary. Okay, quick resources and study tools that are available to you, such as flashcards. In addition, you can then take a practice test. Next, I want you to look at the modules in the Engage series. And as you can see here, I have Engage in a variety of topics: adult medical surgical, community and public health, fundamentals, maternal newborn mental health, okay, nursing concepts, pediatrics, pharmacology. There's quite a few different tutorials and modules. During NUR 170, I would recommend spending time with Engage Fundamentals and some of the medical surgical modules as directed to in your reading list. I cannot recommend the fluid electrolyte module in Engage Fundamentals enough, and that's under Physiologic Concepts for Nursing Practice. And if you scroll down to, where is it? Fluid electrolyte and acid-base regulation. This module is foundational to so much of what you will learn moving forward, and these concepts will follow you throughout your nursing career. Let's continue scrolling down as soon as this finishes doing it. Okay, so if we scroll down past the Engage modules, okay, I want to stop on a topic called Review Modules. Now you may have Review Modules 2023 or Review Modules 2026. I'm not entirely sure when the 2026 modules have been published, but these are the most recent and updated version of your physical ATI books. So I'm going to click on it and I'm going to choose the Fundamentals Review module to show how it is set up. Okay, so Fundamentals for Nursing, edition 12.0. You will notice that there are no page numbers. Let me go back to the beginning. If you are searching for a specific topic, you either need to use the index on the right, or you can look at the search box up top. So if I was looking for electrolyte imbalance, I could type electrolyte imbalance and it would give me all the places that electrolyte imbalance is shown in these modules. You will see among all of these products, there are many products that you will probably spend time in during nursing school. I'm not going to review all of them at this time, but like I said, please feel free to go on your own and review some of these modules that show up for you. Let's scroll back up and I want to click on Assessments. Again, your assessment tab is going to look quite different from my Assessments tab. You will go under Assessments for any assigned practice and proctored assessments you will take in your course. I will add that the proctored content mastery assessment scores that you will take with each course may result in points added to your final exam grade based upon what level of proficiency you may score in each assessment. There are 3 different levels. Level 1 is considered the absolute minimum expectation for performance in this content area. So it's just meeting NCLEX entry-level standards. If you score a level 1 or below, you will earn 1 point on your final exam score, but only after completing remediation and an additional practice test. Your course instructor will publish instructions on how to complete ATI remediation. Level 2 on the Proctored Master or the Content Mastery series can be considered to exceed minimum expectations for performance in the content area. Scores at this level are fairly certain to meet NCLEX RN standards in this content area. If you score a level 2, you will earn 2 extra points on your final exam score. And level 3, if you score a level 3, it means you've exceeded most expectations for performance in this content area. If you earn a level 3, you will have earned 3 additional points on your final exam score. Each content area has a defined range of scores that will indicate how it is leveled. So for a score, a exam, you may score an 82.5, but based upon the National Registry of Students that are taking this exam, that may be a level 3. So that is something that your instructor can provide you with when you take these tests. Finally, I want to show you something called dynamic quizzing. As you move through the curriculum, you may find this function useful. With dynamic quizzing, you can create quizzes with practice questions to assist you in mastering course content. To access dynamic quizzing, click on the blue bar that says Quizzes, and then click on Dynamic Quizzes. Then click on Quizzes and Assignments. Now when this comes up, and it takes a couple of seconds to come up, you will see that I've spent some time playing around in here, although I haven't really answered many questions. Okay, so I've done a lot of investigating, but not a lot of answering. I've only answered 3 questions. I've got 3,086 questions that I could answer. I've only answered 3. So I've got some work to do. So let's say you want to create a quiz. You would go to New Custom Quiz. You would choose, I usually choose Enhanced Learning. You would choose the quiz mode, and I find if you're just preparing for an exam, you would hit the study mode. And what the study mode is going to provide answers and explanations. So you'll answer a question, hit submit, and it's immediately going to give you feedback as to whether you got it right or wrong and the rationale behind that. Then you choose the difficulty level. You can go with hard, moderate, easy, or all. Then, unless you want every subject that's possible, you would want to clear your subjects and you would choose what you think you would like. Okay, so let's say if I want to look at fundamentals questions. I have a total of 409 questions that I could possibly answer. Okay, you will choose the number of questions, 10, 25, or then you can also manually regulate that. Timed or untimed. Generally, most students will choose timed, or untimed, I mean. And then you would click Start Quiz, and it will give you however many questions you've asked for. If you're looking for something on a specific subject, you can go into the search bar. For example, if I'm looking for hypertension, and it's going to give me questions on hypertension. Okay, and then you can kind of go through and see some are pharmacology, some are endocrine. So you can kind of go through and you can click on the ones that you might want to add to your learning, depending upon what module you're in and where you are in the curriculum. Most students have found the dynamic quizzing to be helpful for them as they're moving through the curriculum. Okay, so I'm going to exit out of dynamic quizzing. Okay, and you will see there's some things on NCLEX prep. We really don't do anything with that. Let me close out of this. There's something called Flashcards Hub. In Flashcards Hub, you can either generate flashcards based upon whatever you assessed last, recent modules that you studied, content from your products. Okay, so for example, I was looking at flashcards for Health Assessment 3.0 Abdominal Assessment. Okay, and I guess I answered 1. So, all right, and I got it correctly. So you can set up flashcards for if you like to test yourself. I would encourage you to use that, and you can search for content areas. So this concludes your brief video orientation of your ATI products. I recommend again that you spend some time on your own getting to know this valuable product before classes start and things become busy. After completing this video, please complete the link that the attestation of quiz or attestation of completion and a learning assessment or a learning knowledge check so that we can keep track of your attendance. Thank you very much for your time and attention. If you need further assistance with ATI, my office number is 308 and I maintain office hours on most days. You're welcome to stop by, but I would like to make sure that you've watched this video first. Thank you again.